A leader loved by millions, riding on a wave of popular support. A decision that sounds strong, patriotic, and necessary. But when reality kicks in, that support begins to crack. Donald Trump has positioned tariffs as a bold economic move, a tool to protect American industries, punish foreign competitors, and reclaim US manufacturing dominance. On the surface, many Americans love the idea, but when the effects start hitting their wallets, the enthusiasm fades. One of his biggest and most talked about decisions, which is trade tariffs, is where public opinion starts to shift. Polls show that Americans support the idea of tariffs in principle, but once they begin to understand their real-world impact, higher prices, disrupted supply chains, and retaliation from other countries, many start reconsidering. I'm Marie Milahi, and today we're talking about how Trump's tariff war is unfolding, how it's affecting Americans, and why public opinion isn't as solid as it seems. The idea of tariffs sounds great until Americans have to pay for them. Here's how this trade war is starting to hit everyday life in America. Higher prices on essentials. From groceries to electronics, imported goods are getting more expensive because tariffs are ultimately a tax on consumers. Number 2, gas prices on the rise. The United States imports 60% of its oil from Canada, meaning fuel costs are expected to surge, especially in the Midwest. The grocery store reality. Tariffs on Mexican imports mean avocados, tomatoes, and fresh produce will cost more within weeks. Supply chain disrupted. Businesses relying on foreign materials are scrambling, either raising prices or cutting jobs to adjust, and then retaliation from other countries, which is China, Canada, and Mexico, they have hit back with tariffs on American exports, hurting US farmers and manufacturers. Economists warn that Trump's aggressive tariffs could slow US economic growth, lead to higher inflation, and hurt American industries more than they help. Now let's talk about public opinion, how it's shifting from support to skepticism. Polls show that support for tariffs isn't as firm as it seems. 48% of Americans support tariffs when asked in general. But when tariffs are described as a tax on imports, support drops to 43%. When tariffs are specifically linked to China, support increases. But when applied to Canada or Mexico, it drops. 49% support tariffs if framed as bringing back American jobs. But when a YouGov poll asked if they'd still support tariffs, even if it led to higher prices for consumers, support plummeted to 30%. This is where the disconnect becomes clear. Americans like the idea of tariffs, but they don't like the consequences. One of the biggest reasons for this contradiction is a lack of understanding. Many Americans wrongly believe tariffs are a punishment on foreign governments, when in reality, the cost is passed down to US businesses and consumers. Polls suggest that once Americans grasp the actual effects of tariffs, many stop supporting them. But as long as the issue remains vague and framed as America first, support remains artificially high. A president who came in with massive public support is now facing pushback on one of these most significant economic policies. Americans might love how tariffs sound, but when the real impact starts hitting their pockets, many are forced to rethink their stance. So do tariffs really protect American jobs, or they are just another hidden tax that Americans didn't see coming? That's the real question.